United States of America, commonly known as the US, is a vast country located in the North America. It stretches from Atlantic Ocean in the east to Pacific Ocean in the west. To the north, country is bordered by Canada. This 8,900 km long border between the US and Canada is the longest international land border in the world. To the south, the US shares a 3,111 km long border with Mexico. The country consists of 50 states divided into 3,143 countries, all country equivalent 3,243, if you include territory divisions. With a total area about 9.8 million square kilometers, the US is the third largest country in the world, after Russia and Canada. The US is about half the size of Russia, about 3/10 size of Africa, about half the size of South America, or slightly larger than Brazil, slightly larger than China, and more than twice the size of the European Union. This area is approximately 6.1% of total land mass of the Earth. One of its most important characteristics is its extremely varied physical landscape, including mountains, plains, rivers, deserts, and coastal regions. The major characteristic of the country is its varied landscape, which we are going to study in this video.
The mainland USA, including the states of Alaska and Hawaii, can be divided into 7 main regions with respect to physical features. Starting from the east, the coastal plains, Appalachians, mountains, interior lowland, Great Plains, Rocky Mountain Basin, and ridge, and coastal range. So let's begin our journey starting from the east. In the east lie in the Atlantic coastal plain, a flat and now lying area near the ocean. Coastal plains are separated from the rest of the interior by nearby land-formed structured mountains. Moving in the land rises into the Piedmont region, which contains rolling hills and fertile soil. Beyond the Piedmont stand the Appalachian Mountains. The mountains are very old and have been heavily eroded over millions of years, making them lower and smoother than younger mountain range. The highest peak reaches about 2,000 meters. In the south, the Gulf coastal plain stretches along the Gulf of Mexico and provided with agricultural land. Wetland and bays are common features of the Atlantic coastal plain. They are coastal bodies of water that are partially surrounded by land. Most of the bays of the Atlantic coastal plain occur in the northern part of the region. The southern part of the region has many types of wetlands, including marshes, swamps, and bogs. Like we move to the interior plain, we are west of the Appalachian Mountains. This central interior area is full of hills, lakes, and rivers. This region covers parts of the interior continental area of the country. It includes the Great Plains and the Tallgrass Prairie region of the U.S. The latter extends east to the Appalachian Plateau. Most of the interior plain region has no relief, a fact that indicates the relative tectonic stability of the region. This region is basically the Midwest and is home to the country's agricultural base, but popularly known as the nation's breadbasket. The Great Lakes are a natural group of freshwater lakes in the world. Located here, they serve as important trade route between the United States and Canada. The Great Lakes include Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, and Lake Superior. Lake Superior being the largest lake and the largest freshwater lake by surface area in the world. Third largest by volume. However, only about 45% of it belongs to the U.S., meaning the largest lake completely within the U.S. boundary and the largest lake by area in the world fully within a single country would actually be Lake Michigan. And together, the 5 lakes make up about 1/5 of the world's above surface freshwater. To the west of the Great Lake lies the country's largest river, the Mississippi River. It is a major inland waterway that empties into the Gulf of Mexico. The important tributaries of the Mississippi are the Ohio River and the Missouri River. The descend from the river. Great fertile farmlands about which we talked earlier.
Moving west up the interior plain, the land gradually rises towards the Rocky Mountains. The grasslands in this area are known as the Great Plains. In other words, the Great Plains are nothing but vast high plateaux of semi-arid grassland. Although the altitude of the plains increased gradually from 180 meters or 370 meters on the east to 1,200 to 1,500 meters or 1,800 meters near the mountains, the local relief is generally small. 10 U.S. states lie in the Great Plains: Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Nebraska, Kansas, Colorado, Oklahoma, Texas, or New Mexico. In the United States, the Great Plains are drained by Missouri River and its tributary Yellowstone, Platte, and Kansas, as well as the Rio Grande and Arkansas rivers, which flow earthward from the Rockies. As you go further west, you will reach the Rocky Mountains, an enormous and rugged mountain range with peaks rising up to 14,000 feet, which is 14,270 meters. The Rockies are a massive 3,000 miles or 4,800 kilometers corridor stretching from Canada to New Mexico, forming North America's easternmost, highest, and most rugged mountain belts. They are characterized by over 100 named steep side ranges, significant glaciation, high elevation upper zones, and the continental divide, which separate major Pacific and Atlantic watersheds. The U.S. Rockies stretch from northern Montana, Idaho down to New Mexico, covering parts of Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. Rockies also form a continental divide, separating east and west flowing rivers. The east flowing rivers mostly empty into the Mississippi River, while the west flowing rivers empty into the Pacific Ocean. West of the Rocky Mountains, you will find the Great Salt Lake and the Great Basin. The Great Basin of the western U.S. covers over 200,000 square miles, encompassing most of Nevada and portions of Oregon, Arizona, Idaho, northern Mexico, and much of Utah. The Mojave, Sonoran, Great Salt Lake, and Black Rock Desert, among others, are all components of the basin. Great Salt Lake sits at the bottom of a cloud basin located at an elevation of roughly 4,200 feet. It is a terminal lake with no outlet, so the only way water can leave is by evaporation. Another significant physical feature is the Colorado Plateau. It extends across the southwestern United States and includes Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. It comprises a series of tablelands including plateau and mesa, located within an immense basin surrounded by highlands. The mean elevation on the plateau is 6,352 feet, which is 1,936 meters. Moving forward, the lowest point in North America is found here in Death Valley at negative 282 feet, which is 86 meters, and borders the Great Basin Desert.
The Pacific Mountain System. Further west you find the Cascade Range and the Sierra Nevada. The Cascade extends over 700 miles or 1,100 km from Naston Peak in Northern California to Oregon and Washington to the Fraser River in southern British Columbia. Which rain is mainly made up of modern volcanoes. The Sierra Nevada mountains are also located here. The Rockies are the longest mountain range in the U.S. The Sierra Nevada is the longest continuous range, located mainly in California and Nevada. It's from America's western backbone. Besides the 48 contiguous states that occupy the middle latitude of the continent, the United States include Alaska at the northwestern extreme of North America and Hawaii in the mid-Pacific Ocean. Alaska is 500 miles north of Washington State. To get there, you must fly on the way through Canada. It is the largest state in the United States. The Sierra Nevada mountain range stretches all the way to Alaska, where you find Mount McKinley, also known as Denali, the highest mountain in North America and one of the top 10 peaks in the country as well. Talking about the last state of the United States, the state of Hawaii is 2,000 miles, which is 3,200 km west of California. In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, Hawaii is made up of a chain of 8 large islands and 124 smaller islands. Interesting, the southernmost point of the United States is in Hawaii. Hawaii landscape vary, but is dominated by a volcanic topography with hot lava rushing from mountains in the island. Moreover, the Pacific Ocean is a major waterway of the western United States.
Like its topography, the climate of the United States is diverse too. It is mostly temperate but tropical in Hawaii and Florida, Arctic in Alaska, semi-arid in the plains west of the Mississippi River, and arid in the Great Basin of the Southwest. This climate diversity is influenced by three main factors: latitude, the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, and major mountain ranges. As a result, the country can be divided into 7 main climate regions. Alaska has one of the most extreme climates in the United States. Climate conditions vary depending on latitude, altitude, and distance from the Pacific Ocean. Climatically, the northernmost state is relatively cold due to its location. The North has a polar tundra climate, while most of the rest has a cold boreal climate. Thus, is moderated by the sea on the southern coast. The northeastern United States has a continental climate with cold winter and warm to hot summer. Some areas along the Great Lakes and parts of New England and the Appalachian Mountains are densely forested. The plains of the Midwest are heavily farmed. The Southeast is part of the subtropical, with an east-side climate that is humid in summer. Swamps extend along the coast and in the Mississippi Delta. The southern and eastern coasts of the U.S. are particularly vulnerable to tropical storms from the Caribbean. The Mississippi River Basin is particularly prone to tornadoes. The south of Florida belongs to the humid tropics and has high temperatures all year round. Here are the tropical marshlands of the Everglades, which are home to alligators. Almost the entire western half of the U.S. has relatively low precipitation and a semi-arid steppe climate prevails in large part, including the vast prairie landscapes of the Great Plains. At higher altitude, mountainous climate can be found. The Southwest, with its desert climate, is very hot and dry. Here lies the Mojave Desert and Death Valley, which is considered one of the hottest and driest places on Earth. In addition, there are salt plains especially in the Great Basin, including the Great Salt Desert. On the Pacific coast, the climate is not oceanic, with mild temperature. Temperate rainforest extend here. This is where the famous redwood grows. Further south, a Mediterranean climate can be found in large part of California. The climate in the Hawaii is tropical and thus warm to hot weather all year round, but it is somewhat moderated by almost constant wind. Temperatures are cooler at the higher elevation and rainfall vary between islands. The United States has a highly diverse climate system area climate strongly influences natural landscape, human settlement patterns, and economic activities across the country.
The US is sitting on extraordinary natural wealth, but just how much it's worth? Estimates place the total value of American natural resources at around $45 trillion, ranking the US second globally in total resources value. So where does that intensive figure come from? A major shale lies deep underground that the United States holds nearly one-third of the world's coal reserve, along with sustainable deposits of oil, natural gas, and gold. These energies and mineral resources form backbone of industrial production and national energy security. But America's wealth is not only beneath the surface. Above ground, the country contains roughly 750 million hectares of forest land. This vast timber reserve represents not only economic value, but also ecological capital, supporting biodiversity, carbon storage, and watershed protections. The land itself is another foundation asset. Large portions of the U.S. territories are devoted to agriculture. From grain production across the Great Plains to diversified farming regions throughout the Midwest and California. This agricultural capacity positions the U.S. as one of the world's leading food producers. Water resources further strengthen this natural portfolio. Major river systems such as Mississippi River and expansive wetlands provide transportation routes, irrigation, flood control, and reliable freshwater supplies. And the natural wealth is not measured just in extractive resources. The country's protected landscapes are globally iconic, from Yellowstone National Park to the immense scale of Grand Canyon, and the dramatic granite cliff of Yosemite National Park. These landscapes represent ecological, cultural, and economic value through tourism and conservation. When taken together, this combination of energy reserve, agricultural land, forest, freshwater system, and protected natural landmark forms the foundation of one of the most largest countries in the world. In summary, the physical geography of the United States is characterized by remarkable diversities in landforms, climates, and natural environments. From coastal plains and ancient mountain ranges to vast interior plains, high plateaus, and volcanic islands, these physical features have played a crucial role in shaping the country environment and development.
Sau này các bạn nhìn lên bầu trời thì ở trên bầu trời có một cái vị tinh tú mang tên là